takes place between midnight and 1 a.m. Events occur in real time.
Yeah, it's up Lieutenant right now.
Why it's not a good idea to print up your own license.
I'll let you talk to our public affairs officer and he'll explain things to you.
Do you think maybe you can just tell me why it's not a good idea? What it leads to, especially when you're an officer approaching a vehicle and you know there's something hinky with the car. What?
It's just against the law.
Well, I know that, but what kind of things does it lead you to think? You know, if it's falsified plate.
Oh, a vehicle can be stolen. You just don't know.
That'd be my first thought. Is
the
stolen
vehicle's
car.
stolen. The guy's avoiding registration fees. He's could be on the lam. You don't know. You don't know what's going on.
And then, could you just state your name and spell your last name?
That's okay. I don't do interviews.
Plates and why you decided to manufacture your own plates.
Well, I had received, I wanted to make a plate to advertise my business, burglalarm.com, so I ordered up a personalized plate. It's free. And the DMV informed me I wouldn't get the plate for about 6 or 8 weeks, so I thought, gee, why not make it now on the computer? So that's what I did. And I put it on the car there, and an officer passed me and thought it looked a little odd. And then he went to the front and thought the place looked even a little odder and pulled me over and discovered what I did. And actually kind of excited about it because he'd been alerted to something he thought could be a possible crime for someone who might be stealing a car to manufacture plates on the computer. And the plate that I had was actually my plate, and so they weren't that angry with me, but advised me it was against the law, and then actually thanked me for making them more aware of something that could be a problem.
So you actually didn't receive a citation today?
No, I didn't. And but they gave me a stern warning: don't make any more plates. And so I'll just wait for my real plates to come.
Okay, and could you state your name and spell your last name?
My last name is Sheehy, Sheehy. My first name is Braxton.
And could you spell your first name for us?
Braxton.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Doing that job with a bum leg,
The initial call came in as a grass fire in the backyard. Subsequent to that, it ended up into the structure. Due to the dry roof and the hot conditions, the fire from the backyard traveled to the roof. We were able to knock it down fairly quickly, but however, it did cross the road and ignited another roof, which we were also able to extinguish. Our other difficulty, if you will, was we ran into some bees. We were able to circumvent the bees, though, and the beekeeper's on his way now to collect the bees.
Could you tell me something about the cause of the fire initially?
Right. The fire, according to the occupant, was started when they were mowing their back lawn. They ignited from the lawnmower.
I understand the back lawn was like 30 inches deep. Could you tell me something about maybe it'd be better if you're going to clear area around your house earlier in the spring as opposed to waiting till a hot summer day with a little wind?
Right. Obviously, it's always better to do preventive measurements than to wait till the last minute to try to clear around your area. Apparently, there was a lot of high grass in this yard. They were attempting to mow it. Had they done it earlier in the year, this probably would not have happened.
And then could you state your name and spell your last name?
The name is Denis Sweeney. First spelling, the first name is D-E-N-I-S, one N. Last name is Sweeney, S-W-E-E-N-E-Y.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Is actually all about?
Fire Camp is a community outreach program where we're trying to get to the kids in our fire district for the Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District. It's a 5-day camp filled with firefighting activities from swiftwater rescue to ladder climbing, hose stream evolutions, live fire attack, fire extinguishers, first aid, CPR, and it's designed to reach out to the kids who are junior high school age in our community. And we want to touch them, touch their families, and just have a positive impact on the kids, be positive role models to teach them about what we do.
And could you tell me about some of the activities as far as like what were you doing out on the water today?
Today on the water, we started out at Water World, where we had a controlled environment. We taught them about water rescue, some of the equipment that we use, proper swim techniques in the river. Then after lunch, we went out to the the American River, and utilized our water bikes and our boats and gave them rides and showed them some of the techniques we use out on the river. We used personal flotation devices for each of the kids and taught them about the safety gear we use. Yesterday we were out at the Roseville training facility at Roseville Fire Department, and we had live fire training. They climbed a 6-story aerial tower. They actually put out fires with fire extinguishers and practiced muster evolutions. The first 2 days of the week were here at our facility, Station 106, where they learned about vehicle extrication, breathing apparatus, first aid, CPR, and things like that.
Can you tell me about it wrapping up tomorrow? And
Yeah. Tomorrow is the last day. Saturday, it's a family day when we have a big muster in the morning. Muster is a competitive fire sport, if you will, where the kids participate in old traditional evolutions like bucket brigades, make and break, and water hockey. And the first part of the day is going to be spent with the muster and the parents looking on, watching the kids practice the things they've learned. And then after that, we're going to have a big awards ceremony and barbecue for the entire families of all the kids that come out. So we expect about 200 people tomorrow to wrap the day up around 2 o'clock.
And that will take place here?
Here at Station 106.
106.
Yeah.
So tomorrow actually might be a better day to do the story.
Could be. There's going to be a lot going on tomorrow. We're going to start off at about 9 o'clock and wrap up around between 1 and 2. And there'll be a lot of activity starting right at 9 o'clock. So.
And could you state your name and spell your last name?
My name is Captain Anthony Kastros. Last name is Kastros.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thank you.
.30 this afternoon, firefighters responded from Sacramento Metro Fire District and CDF on a mutual aid request to a report of a grass fire in the area of Sunrise and Keifer in the Jackson area. Firefighters got on scene. They were met with some pretty intense flames being fed by high winds. Initially, they had about 40 acres going. The fire grew to about 175 to 200 acres estimated. Cause of fire is unknown. The fire was controlled rapidly. We went to a total of 2 alarms. In addition, with 6 engines, a bulldozer, a chief officer from a mutual aid request from CDF from Amador, El Dorado County. So the fire got controlled quickly, and they're in the mop-up stage right now, and we don't have a cause on the fire as of yet.
This little bit of wind really seems to pick things up for you guys, doesn't it?
It was interesting for about 3 hours this afternoon. We had a total of 4 multi-alarm fires working at the same time within about a 3-hour time frame. So we were challenged and our resources were being tested, but we rose to the occasion and we handled all the incidents effectively.
And could you state your name and spell your last name for me?
Captain Patrick Ellis, Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District, ELLIS.
Thank you.
Okay? You got it?
What kind of operation you had out here tonight in District 1?
Okay, this is the Northwest District of the Sheriff's Department, and what we had tonight, the POP officers of the service center here conducted a curfew operation. This is in response to complaints from the community about kids wandering the streets at night, acts of vandalism occurring, other miscellaneous problems. So one of the POP officers, Stan Azevedo, organized this, and we had approximately 15 sworn deputy sheriffs and the same number of probation officers assisting us. And in addition, we probably had 20 of our volunteers here tonight providing support services for them.
So you have up to 50 people working on this evening?
Correct. And with these, the volunteers really helped out a lot. What we did is we paired off with probation officers and deputies, went out into the community and found kids wandering the streets, in the parks, in parking lots, areas where they didn't belong after 10 p.m. We picked them up, brought them back here where they were identified and they were issued a citation and processed by the volunteers, and then they sat down with a probation officer and had a probation hearing right here on site. With this hearing, we had to agree to community service.
Okay, could you go over what kind of punishment they might be looking at?
They're going to have to do some type of community service, like a work project, a couple of days. They have to sign a contract with probation and agree to do this. They'll be maybe picking up litter in the parks or something like that, but they'll actually do a supervised work project. If they fail to do that, then they'll have to go back to juvenile court and have their cases adjudicated. Tonight we picked up over 41, or approximately 41 kids were processed through here tonight. Of those, I believe 38 of them were saw probation officers and returned home with their parents tonight. One individual was picked up earlier in the night for shoplifting, taken home, and then he left home again, and when his father was called to pick him up here, his father said he did not want his son doing community service. He wanted him processed through juvenile hall. So that son was issued a citation and a date to appear in juvenile hall before a juvenile judge. Two other individuals that were picked up tonight were carrying burglar tools. They had bolt cutters and some other tools with them when they were first stopped. And when the officers patted them down, one of the individuals, a 17-year-old, was found to have a loaded .38 caliber revolver in his back pocket. So that individual's going to juvenile hall tonight.
And this is the type of problems that you're trying to avert it in the first place, isn't it? Could you work that into repeat the question, this is the type of problems that we're trying to avert, and then go over that?
Okay. By conducting the juvenile...
You can start over.
Yeah.
Just,
By conducting the curfew operation, we're attempting to alleviate some of the problems we have in the community. Some of the things that we have is nights when the kids are out in the parks unsupervised. We've had a lot of kids involved in fights and harassment and other problems like that. And this is a prime example when we find a 17-year-old with a loaded gun in his pocket. Hopefully, by doing these operations, we'll educate the public, let them know that there is a curfew in Sacramento County, and the juveniles have to be supervised after 10 p.m.
And can you tell me how many times a year do you do an operation like this?
We do these operations approximately 2 to 3 times a year. If there's a greater need, we will do it more often, but generally 2 to 3 times a year is sufficient. In addition, also during school year, we do truancy sweeps. When we have, we check with the schools, the local high schools and the grade schools, and we find out they're having problems with kids being truant, we'll set up an operation, and we'll do the same thing we're doing tonight, but only in the daytime hours. When the kids are supposed to be in school, we find them walking the streets or in the parks. We pick them up, make sure that they are in fact truant, and then we bring them either to the service center or back to the school. and issue them a citation and release them to the custody of their parents.
Okay. Now, could you state your name and spell your last name and your position with the department?
Yes, I'm Lieutenant Don Devlin. I'm the executive officer for the Northwest Division, and my last name is spelled Devlin.
Thank you very much, sir.
Sure.
That's pretty easy, wasn't it?
Okay, Captain Dan Haverty with Sacramento Metropolitan Fire District. At approximately 9 o'clock this evening, we had a call, reported fence fire and then structure fire at 4401 Milroy Lane in Carmichael. When we arrived, we had fire burning on the exterior of the home on the south side. It was being pushed by a little south wind this evening. The fire worked its way up into the attic area. Prior to our arrival, our firefighters worked on the exterior fire, got up inside the second floor, gained access into the attic, and began an aggressive attack on the attic fire that was running through the attic. Most of the damage in the house is contained to a perimeter area in the southwest corner of the structure. However, due to our extinguishment operations, there is some water damage beneath the fire areas as well.
And could you give me something about structural response?
The incident on Milroy this evening wound up calling a third alarm. That was due to some heavy stockpile of shingles up in the attic space, actually. The fire up in there, being that it had a lot of material, was well seated in that, and we have to go through a very extenuous overhaul operation to try and make sure that all that's extinguished and out of the attic space itself.
Any inclination of fireworks or any related? Is it too early to tell on that?
It's still too early. We do have an arson fire investigator on scene, and he will be conducting a thorough investigation and trying to determine the cause and origin of this fire.
You've had quite a few fires like this in the last couple of days. Any underlying connection? What's the big factor here, the wind?
Well, there doesn't seem to be any human connection between the fires that we've determined. As far as connections, this time of year, we're very concerned about fireworks around dry grass and on our dry shake roofs. It would be unfortunate if this fire were caused by that, but we don't know that yet.
And can you state your name and spell your last name?
Sure, it's Captain Dan Haverty, Haverty.
Thank you, sir.
You bet. Thank you.
No, we have to call out. They don't want to that's their area. The other deal. We're on one call and there's stuff down here and that was something else.
you saw last night?
Okay, I was watching a movie on TV, Cowboys and Indian, and I heard this loud explosion out in the front of my house. And of course I screamed, and all my dogs screamed and hollered at the same time, and I was too scared to come out and look. And then I got up this morning, and over there was a piece of the mailbox. But I didn't know it was a mailbox. I carried it in my car, I looked at it, I took it back over there and set it down. And then as I got in my car to drive out, I looked over there, and Hazel's mailbox was all out there in the middle of the street. So I thought that's what the explosion was last night. So then I turned around and went back up there and got her and let her know what was going on.
And then who called the cops?
Hazel called the cops.
When they came out and...
They come out and they start investigating and taking fingerprints and stuff like that.
Did you guys pick up the mailbox and stack it up, or?
I moved the part around quite a lot, and it was way out in the street, or then a hazard, and Hazel had picked it up, but I had left and went to my mom's house, and she had it up there. When I come home, I wasn't here too long till I seen the police officers come up, so I come back out.
So it gave you quite a startle?
It scared me, yes, very much. I'm hard of hearing, but I heard that all over. And my dogs were scared. They were scared to death.
And do you think this kind of thing should be going on in your neighborhood?
No, no, it shouldn't be. It's very quiet here, usually, and peaceful.
And could you state your name and spell your last name?
My first name is Betty. The last name is Baquette, Baquette.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Michael, it seems kind of severe for, even though he's a juvenile, to take him off to jail because he has a couple of bottle rockets.
Yeah, this afternoon we contacted this individual during what we thought was being shots fired while we're investigating a mailbox that was destroyed by an explosive device. And we contacted the individual. He later admitted he had some firecrackers upon search of his room. We discovered a M80 and several bottle rockets. An M80 has the potential to blow off a hand, easily damage anything around it. And right now, the Sacramento County District Attorney's Office and the Sacramento Police Department has adopted a zero tolerance regarding these fireworks due to their potential to cause damage to life and the human body. Especially minor kids, it's pretty popular about this time of the year to possess these items. So it's illegal. If anyone has them, they're supposed to turn them into the Sacramento Police Department as soon as possible. Or they know of anyone that has these items, they'll return them into the department as soon as possible.
Can they turn those in without penalty? Is there some way to turn those in without being penalized for having an illegal contraband substance?
Yeah, any fire department will accept those, and the police department will come out and take them as long as they turn themselves in and turn the property into the department, so we can deal with it in a safe manner.
Okay. Can you restate your name and spell your last name?
Sure, it's Michael. Last name is Iannone.
Okay, but overall, you're thinking, I mean, the philosophy is it's worth the enforcement to make sure these aren't on the street.
Yes, most definitely. These little devices can cause severe damage to anything they explode on, a hand, any part of a body, or anyone they're close to in contact. And especially they're small, they can be put in a pocket, they can be tossed, and they're quite explosive, and it's almost equal to being hit with a shotgun pellet when they explode.
They're actually more dangerous because they're so prevalent that people don't use the kind of caution that they should really be using. Really, do they?
Most definitely. No one's not being reasonable and prudent while using these little devices.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Well, we have zero
this has gone beyond illegal fireworks. What we have here is a destructive device. This is commonly known on the street as a grenade. That is sufficient to blow somebody's hand off. I'm a member of the bomb squad. I've seen people with their hands blown off, parts of their arms blown off from these devices, and there have been deaths caused by these M80s being placed in mailbox. Mailbox exploded with shrapnel and metal in all the directions, and extremely dangerous and deadly.
There are thousands of these out there. I mean, the kids are blowing them up off. I'm not saying it's all right. I'm just saying kids' attitudes towards it. Well, as long as they know that you take a no tolerance to the rest of it, prevent somebody from getting hurt, at least one person, it's worth the effort.
Okay. Could you say your name and position with the department?
It's Bruce Anderson, detective, bomb inspection. Basically, the M80 goes back to military small arms simulation. This contains
That was it, huh?
Yeah.
Just because it had caps on it, just to make sure?
Exactly.
Now, did you penetrate it actually, or did it just blow off the side?
That's where it hit, right there.
Really?
Yeah, didn't do anything to it.
It's solid then, huh?
Flattered herself so quickly.
Can you roll it over for me real quick? Sure.
Well, right on the shoulder.
Yeah, oh, I know.
Like a doorstop or just a weight for whatever job that they're using it for.
Similar to what you responded to today.
Earlier today, a CALTRANS worker saw a pipe, what appeared to be a pipe bomb. So we came out here along with the Sheriff's Department and closed down a section of westbound US 50 as a precaution until we were able to determine what it is. Bomb squad was called and it turned out to be nothing.
Could you tell me around the time that you tried to make this as minimal as possible on the freeway traffic, didn't you?
We did. We tried to impact commuters as little as we could today. Freeway was closed no more than 2-3 minutes as they detonated the device and found out it was just a solid piece of metal.
And anything else you can tell me about as far as it's a good thing, it's not the real thing, but it's good to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, it's definitely it's always, well, California Highway Patrol. Well, let me try this again.
Okay.
We're definitely going to do everything we can to make sure we keep the public in mind, their safety in mind. So in this case, we saw it necessary to shut down the freeway and err on the side of caution, because in the event that it was a real thing, could have created some severe injuries.
And could you state your name and spell your last name?
Nick Salmeron, last name is spelled Salmeron. I'm an officer with the California Highway Patrol.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.